and welcome to the Legal Podcast by Phoenix Be Legal. And today is the first podcast, and in this podcast, we will be dealing with the case of State of Madras versus Champakram Dorairaj. This was a landmark case in so many ways. First, it was filed by a woman, very important. Second, this is the case which has given us the first amendment of the Constitution, and this is one of the landmark cases in regard of the reservation. So today, what we will be doing, we will be deep diving into this case, and we will be dealing with the facts of the case, the legal angle, and what the Supreme Court has held in this case. So all three things we'll be looking at into it. All right. So let's get started. The first case of our podcast, that is the first amendment of the Constitution also, that is State of Madras versus Champakram Dorairaj. So what is the case about? So first, before we dive into the legal angle of the case, it's very important to understand what are the facts of the cases are in this. All right. So let's get into the facts of the case. In the year 1951, the Madras, at that point of time it has been called as Madras, has come out with a government order in which it has given reservation to certain caste, for the admission of the medical colleges. So there was like criteria, this caste will be getting this much, and number of that thing. That is not so important. The important was that the reservation has been given on the caste base. This has been challenged by the Champakran Dorairaj, who she said that if this is allowed, then obviously the other caste people will not be able to get the admission, as the number of the seats in the college are very limited. All right. So she filed this application, and let's look into what are the legal grounds she has taken in this case, which is, I think, is the most important to get into it. And if you go into the legal about the case, the angle she has taken, she has said that this is a clear-cut violation of the right to equality under Article 29(2) of the Constitution, Indian Constitution. All right. This article guarantees protection against discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, language, or any of them. That is what the Section 29(2) of our Constitution of India says that. But if you go into the government order, which is a clear-cut violation of the fundamental rights guaranteed to the citizen of India by under Article 29, subclause 2 of the Constitution. If we go a little dive into that article itself, what exactly that article says? Yeah. So the article 29 subclause 2 says, no citizen shall be denied admission to any education institution maintained by the state or receiving aid out of the state funds on ground only of religion, race, caste, language, or any of them, and was therefore void under Article 13. So Article 13 also comes here in that. The directive principle of the state policy lays down in the Part 4 of the Constitution cannot in any way override the breach of the fundamental right. This is what the order of the Supreme Court said basically. The Supreme Court said that under this case, like Article 29(2), under that there's no discrimination should be done the admission of the colleges or any education institute on the ground of religion, race, caste, language, or any one of them. And if they're doing it, that actually violates Article 13 of the Constitution of India. And if we go a little deep into it, the state policy which comes under the directive principle of the state policies, that is Part 4 of the Constitution, cannot in any way override the fundamental rights guaranteed under Constitution of India under Part 3. So three things which needs to be remembered in this case was Article 29(2), Article 13, and Part 4 and Part 3 of the Constitution of India, which was, the legality of these things has been intertwined, explored, what can be done and what cannot be done basically. But the most important part was there. This is the case where, the Supreme Court has said that the Parliament cannot or the state cannot make any laws which is against the fundamental rights. All right. So that was the basic of this case. Now, and the Supreme Court actually agreed with whatever the legal points the Doriaraj has been taken, and agreed on that and said that yes, the Article 29(2) was a fundamental right, and that any law that went against it will be unconstitutional. This decision had a very far-reaching implication. Remember, this is the year of 1951. And the other states of India also had a similar kind of laws, where they were providing caste-based reservation. So when this order came from the Supreme Court, the other state also had to follow, and those the order which they have come up with or notification which they have come up with also be declared unconstitutional. So if you look into little inside of the state of Madras versus Champakran Dorairaj, was like it helped down to break the barrier of the caste-based discrimination. Was that it helped down to break that it could be good, it could be bad also, but yes, it said that if you're making a reservation on the basis of the caste, it's against the fundamental right, especially for the educational institution. All right, it does also have a negative impact if you look at the socio-economical level. People who belong to the lower socio-economical status and also the lower caste, they may not be benefited with this kind of order. All right, and yes, this is a very debatable one, but yes, this has its own significance. Like it has this is the first amendment of the constitution, which is, you can remember always that the state of Madras versus Champakran Dorairaj is the case which has the first amendment of the Constitution of India. It was in the year of 1951, and if I'm not wrong completely, this order was passed by 10 judges benches. That the benches consist of 10 judges. So yes, this was the first podcast for the legal podcast by the Phoenix Bay Legal, and I hope you liked it. The next judgment we'll be dealing with the Loknath case. Golaknath case. And yes, the first few cases which we are taking up are mostly on the constitutional front, because those are the things which comes largely in the exams, and people want to know about that. So yes, so meet you next time in my another second podcast in Golaknath case 1. So till then, keep studying. Bye.